Baker, the Senior Communications Manager at Guilford Press, and I'm so excited to be here today with the authors of our new book, Literacy Changemakers, Kenneth Kunz, Maureen Hall, and Rachel Lella. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the book. So, okay, let's get started. Ken, where did the idea for this book come from? And can you talk a little bit about how it came about?
Sure. So we've been doing a lot of research and work in the schools, especially around making a comprehensive and balanced literacy program come alive for school communities. And one of the things that we started to talk about as a team was that while we recognize the core components of a really great literacy program and have coached around those components in classrooms alongside teachers with kids, we started to notice that there's something even more fundamental that's needed in that school community, and that is joy. And so, as the three of us started to collaborate, we realized that in all the school communities where we have worked and coached teachers and affected change, that we noticed that there are some real change makers and some real tangible steps that those folks are taking to make a difference in their communities. And so when we had talked to Guilford Publishing about that, they said, you know what, this is a really natural next step for the work that you guys have already done.
That's great. So interesting. And Maureen, what makes this book different than other books out there?
Hi, Lucy. It's actually based on people that we know. So Hatchery Hill is a little school in northwestern New Jersey. Each of the people that we introduce is a person we know and have worked with. And that somehow made it more joyful for us. And I think that comes through in the book. The whole book was written really to display and demonstrate joy, highlight joyful practices. And it looks at leadership interwoven with literacy and passion. And I think if we don't have passion and joy, we're not getting anywhere right now. Each chapter has an inspirational quote, has vignettes in which one idea filters through the whole team, literacy leadership team, and little light bulb symbols. That was Ken's favorite thing, the little light bulb symbols that showed where there was a lit idea, which is a real practical suggestion that people can bring home and just use right away. At the end of each chapter, there's a little stop, think, and take action reflection piece. So everybody is getting a call to action. And I really kind of like that myself. Inside the chapters, you find your why. You get to look at the real story of your school, which I think most people don't contemplate. And that was a real good thing here. So we believe that you should lead from the heart. And we hope that in our book, through our book, we hope to become the voice of three cheerleaders in your head saying, you can do it, you can do it, as you bring your own passion and joy to your work.
Oh, great. Thank you. And Rachel, why do you think this book is so important right now? Rachel?
I'm so sorry. My internet keeps cutting out.
Oh, that's okay.
and I didn't want to switch my Wi-Fi in the middle.
That's okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So what makes this book so important right now?
Okay. So right now, obviously, there's a lot of issues that occur when you are teaching virtually or you're teaching in a hybrid model where people are cutting in and out constantly. One of the things that we know is that the environment, it's not ideal for anyone. This is not the ideal learning environment for students, and it's not ideal for teachers either. So what we really want to avoid is for both teachers and students to lose that joy during this time and during this pandemic, because it'll be really hard to gain that back. So what students are looking to us for is guidance and cues on how we're going to approach this and what it's going to look like and how learning can still be exciting and fun. And that needs to be really authentic from educators. They need to share their optimism. They need to be empathetic. They need to support their students. and they need to be able to support their teachers, literacy leaders, in any way possible so that that really good instruction can still occur. And some of that stress is lifted off of their shoulders, which might inhibit some of the joy from being projected to their students.
Great, thank you. Maureen, you talked about a little bit about the lit ideas in your comment, and it's something that I really love about this book as well. Do you have any ideas, all of you, for right now, lit ideas for right now that would work during this time of remote learning? Ken, we can start with you.
Sure. So, I think I'm so glad that Rachel brought that up too, about how, yeah, there are glitches with virtual teaching right now. And, although our book doesn't really take on virtual learning directly, there are so many implications for the activities in our book that can still be conducted in a virtual environment. For example, throughout the book, we talk about the power of reading aloud as a school community. And so, even with our own New Jersey Literacy Association, we've done virtual read alouds, and they're beyond the school community. They're not just the teachers. So I think if you think about all the change makers getting involved, there's a real great way right now to involve people virtually, even though it's not, as Rachel said, the ideal scenario for teaching and learning. I would suggest virtual read alouds as my go-to.
Thank you. Maureen?
I was thinking, we were all thinking the other day that most of our students' current work could be considered homework. It's all homework.
Right.
So I think that choice reading becomes really important here, and independent reading. I'm a big proponent of book clubs. And I think that there has never been a better time to institute book clubs than when kids can go to breakout sessions and hold their own little book clubs, and we can check in on them. I also love the idea of students finding a way to talk to someone else about what they loved about a book.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be in a book trailer, or it could be a Flipgrid thing that you do with parents. If you and your parents, when my daughter was reading a book, I always bought a copy of the book and read it along with her, whether she liked it or not. And we now we're in a book club right now, my daughter and I, doing how to be an anti-racist.
Oh, wow, that's great.
We're trying really hard to keep going back and forth and say, did you read on page 87 where he says, and that's how we keep those things alive. Anything that's engaging and can be accomplished with joy can be done that way in homework.
I love that idea of a book club.
Mm.
Rachel, do you have any comments or suggestions? Are you there?
Oh no, I think she froze again.
Poor Rachel.
Oh, she's back.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. It's rainy and the internet is not working so well. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
Oh, it keeps freezing.
Oh, it keeps freezing.
Okay. Am I back?
Yes.
Now you're back.
Okay. Hi. So one of the things that I would definitely recommend during remote learning and virtual learning is for teachers to work with students on passion projects. This is something that we discuss in the book because it's such a great way for students to maintain that joy of learning and the joy of reading and researching something that's interesting to them. So when teachers assign a passion project, what they're doing is they're telling students to find something that they're really interested in, that they're really passionate about, whether it's wildlife conservation or music or skateboarding or cooking or whatever it might be, and to read and research that topic. And once they've done that, they can read novels on the topic. They can create artistic connections or representations of the topic through artwork and photo essays. They can record presentations on the topic to discuss and share their passion with their classmates. And that can lead to a lot of different discussions, but it's really great independent student-driven work, which is what we're always looking for,
Right.
Because that really is an opportunity for students to find their joy and let that drive their learning.
That's such wonderful advice.
And you know what's cool too? A lot of the stuff that we talk about, it can be done like in live time synchronously, but it can also be done on demand asynchronously, right?
Yeah.
For students to access. So that way, when issues come up like
Absolutely.
internet connection problems, or, you know, I love, there was a video online the other day with these kids. I don't know if you saw it, but they were left in the classroom when the teacher gets booted from the virtual environment. And it's just so cute. Like they stayed because like kids really do find joy in a lot of the activities that we're doing. And so I think we have to look at every challenge as just, you know, something to passionately overcome, because helping, when we say this throughout our book, it's kind of like our mantra. There is no greater joy than helping kids become really awesome, equipped readers and writers. And so we believe that that is such worthwhile work that there's nothing better than it.
Yeah. You know, I'm not a teacher, but I am a parent, and I found everything you talked about so relevant and really helpful to me. So thank you so much. This was really great. And again, your book, Literacy Changemakers, here it is. It looks great. Thank you so much for sitting down to talk with me today.
Thanks,
Thank
Lucy.
you for having us.